Salutations, ladies and gentlemen, the Knife Raven here, back again with another video. And in today's video, I'll be taking a look at a pretty simple little knife. And this is going to be a shorter video, but this particular knife is from Portugal, and this is the box it comes in. Very basic, very utilitarian. There's no frilly nonsense going on here, albeit true that I like frilly nonsense on knife boxes. This is the Steel Pocket Knife Carbon, and this particular knife is very interesting. I got it alongside my Barlow at Fendrihon, which has both a US and Canadian storefront, or online store I should say. Here is the knife. Very simple construction, single blade spear point, brass bolsters and pins, stainless or maybe carbon liners and spring, carbon steel blade, and I read in the description these are, hello Alice, black acetate handles. So, very interesting design here. You can see that the blade does open with a nice nail nick, bit of a lazy half stop. Pull, I'd say, is about a 5, not very strong, but not weak. And here is the knife. Now it is made by Curel, which is, again, a Portuguese company. Curel, Portugal, Carbono, which I presume means carbon. The knife is fairly small, measuring in at a total of just about 7 inches. Overall blade length, if you're including the unsharpened bit, is a hair over 3 inches, but if you're just measuring the sharpened part, it is under 3 inches. So this is one of those knives where if you are planning on carrying it in the UK, it's a bit of a risk because technically the blade is under 3 inches, but if you want to consider the unsharpened bit, which makes no sense, but knife laws have a tendency to be stupid, yeah, this could be a problem, but it's up to you. However, in most places, this is entirely legal. It has a nice spring. Again, it's a slip joint. This is my first of 3 slip joints from Portugal. I have a MAM, which is similar to the Opinel. It's a liner lock, but this is very interesting. It's a very basic knife. It kind of caught my eye as being very utilitarian, and I like brass, so I was sold the moment I saw the bolster. But very nice spear point, I must say. Excellent shape. And the carbon steel is unnamed. I presume it's akin to C70 or C75, maybe 1095. You can see that it's not the sharpest knife in the world, but it is shaving sharp without any real use. The blade is one thing that did catch my eye. Aside from the nice shape, it is extremely thin. As you can see, that is a very nice slicey blade with, again, a very nice fine edge, which means this would be quite good for slicing, say, cheese or sausage. It's probably going to be a decent picnic knife if that's what you choose to use it with for. Aside from the spear point being a satin finish and having no real markings on it besides the tang stamp and the nail nick, the blade centering is very poor, admittedly, and you'd think it would be rubbing, but I can't really feel any friction there, so I'm not going to count that as blade rub, but it's certainly not perfect. The grinds on either side are actually surprisingly good, fairly even. Gapping is an issue with this knife. You can see there's a very long gap right here, and a bit of a slight gap down there. Blade play, non-existent in any direction. This is a very sturdy knife. Transitions are smooth for the most part. And because of the way that the bolsters are lower than the handles, which is an intentional thing, I'm not going to count this transition, although there isn't anything scratchy here, and overall it looks and feels fairly nice. The handle is very comfortable, surprisingly. Full 4-finger grip for me, and then again, I still have some room left on it. Very comparable to the Dry Messer from Otter. However, Otter's is far nicer in fit and finish and materials. You can see that the ever so slight curvature at the bottom and the very nice under blade choil here. You have a very good grip, and despite being a slip joint, you can have your finger under here, which prevents the blade from closing all the way. Again, very simple construction. The blade transition to the spring is not perfect, but certainly not terrible. Blade straightness is startlingly good. In fact, I'd almost deem it perfect. Maybe a little bit to the right, but otherwise I'd say that's really well done. And from here you can see, same thing except it's a little bit off to that side. Because the blade steel is soft and the blade is very thin, it's almost a little flexible, and you can kind of push it so that it's straight. Albeit not perfect, it's better than nothing. So what are my final thoughts? This knife is very fair in quality. It's built okay, although I'd say okay for the price. If you're paying, say, anywhere over 30 Canadian for this, I'd say this is not really the best. As you can even see in the closed position, the spring sticks up a little. So the quality is rough. It's roughly finished, roughly made, and the only reason I can excuse it is because it was 21 Canadian. For my US viewers, that's probably about 16, 17. For my UK viewers, that would probably run you about 14, 15 GBP, which is within the realm of a basic Arthur Wright. And again, Arthur Wright, as I've stated before, I really like them, but they can have flaws of their own. Here is a little comparison of a knife that's almost identical in price and size. Here's the Higo no Kami that I recently reviewed. These are very different in style. One's a plastic handle with liners and bolsters. One's a metal handle with neither. Also, friction folder versus slip joint. Different blade profiles and everything. Country of origin. However, the one thing that they do share in common is they are both knives from, again, places other than China, but they managed to keep a fair price tag. This one's 22 Canadian, this is 21, and both I'd say are fairly good. But yeah, all in all, what are my final thoughts? I'd give this knife about a 7 out of 10. Now, the fit and finish is kind of unacceptable if you consider, terrible gaps. Got the raised spring, the bad centering. In every other way, it would be fairly poor. But again, this is not made for the collector. This isn't made for someone who wants to put this on display. This is made for someone who wants a cheap working knife that they wouldn't be afraid to use or lose. It would be easy to maintain, easy to sharpen, basic construction, handle could take a beating, no frills, just sturdy, everyday carry knife. And for what it's made for, being a sturdy, no-nonsense workhorse of a pocket knife, you know what? I think it has a soul. It seems rough, but what do you expect for $21 and a knife that is made for users? So this is a very brief video. Oh my goodness. Never mind. Almost 10 minutes. Whenever I say brief, it's never brief. Who am I kidding? But I just thought I'd upload this quickly. There may be some more Curels in the future. In fact, I have 2 others that I'll be reviewing soon, but I just thought I'd get this video out here. I thought this would be a little fun knife to discuss. It's not It's not anything special. It's not going to be the pride of my collection, but, you know, I might carry it around because it's a basic knife and I'm not scared to use it. I don't know, what would this be? Workhorse Wednesday? Workhorse Wednesday? I'm not sure. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Overall, not a bad knife. For the price, I think it's fair. For who it's intended to be used by, I think it's fair. But is it collector grade? No, by no means. So, anyway, let me know what you think of this knife in the comments down below. Remember, if you're interested, to like, subscribe, hit the bell, all those fun things. And thank you very much for watching. This has been the Curel carbon steel slip joint, and this is the Knife Raven, as always, signing off. Goodbye.